It's finally time for our main event of the evening, and I say finally, 15 fights on this card as of Sunday when we're taping these previews and predictions. As always, one half of your hosting duo, Craig Allen. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Craig Allen FNP. With me to my left, to your right, Matt Allen on the respective socials at Matt Allen FNP. And Matt, for Anthony Lionheart Smith, it is main event after main event after main event. You look at it, he fought Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, Alexander Rakic, Devin Clark, and Jimmy Crute. And yeah, his last fight against Jimmy Crute, a little bit weird, right? Like, I mean, you have the kick to the knee, there ends up being the injury, Anthony Smith ends up getting the win in the first round, and lives to fight another day, and it feels like that was a long time ago, but just 4.5 months ago for him. For Ryan Spann, the 5-on-in, 4-1, the only loss there to Johnny Walker, where he got finished in similar fashion to fights where he's gotten finished in the past, going for that double leg, getting too relaxed, I guess, and then those elbows a la Travis Brown, but picked up a big win his last time out against Misha Cirkunov in a fight where I know I had Cirkunov to get the win there. I thought he was going to out-grapple him, and to my dismay, I guess, Ryan Spann just went back to the well and looked great. And I guess I discredited Ryan Spann big time going into it because I didn't think he beat Sam Alvey, which sounds crazy, but that was a split decision win for Spann. He fell off a cliff near the end. He loses to Walker and gets finished, so I figured Cirkunov was going to win. Now, for Misha, I'm talking to you at Extreme Couture. Why are you going to 185 pounds? I think it's crazy.
Slim boy Misha.
I think it's crazy, but Spann's got a big opportunity to go off a big finish win there to take on a name, and Anthony Smith that has headlined many a card. He headlined here in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. He beat Volkan Oezdemir. You get to take all of that shine. This is a guy that's on the desk. You took all I work for, mother effer. He gets that chance. This is a huge fight for Ryan Spann. Now, I have to say, this fight, Matt, is it a 3-round main event?
5 rounds.
It's 5 rounds. That favors Anthony Smith. He has cardio that just kind of stays constant unless you're like a big guy that's out grappling him and pushing a pace like Glover Teixeira was able to just thrash away. But Anthony Smith, in large part, is consistent from round 1. If it goes to 5, he's there. He's there.
Anthony Smith is a really interesting fighter because at his best, he does look like he could probably become champion. I know that's crazy to say because
should have beat John Jones.
Well, okay, no, he shouldn't have. He got absolutely dominated in that fight. But
legal knee.
When you look at Anthony Smith and the best version of him, it's a very, very dangerous striker on the inside of his elbows. He's got great uppercuts too. He's got great knees up the middle, but also on the outside. He's someone who can string together combinations while walking forward and backwards. I'm going to agree with your overall point, but kind of disagree with how you got there with Ryan Spann. Here's the thing. I thought he beat Sam Alvey. I thought that fight was closer than it probably should have been, but he got rocked by Little Nog. And that's something we need to talk about. Like, I agree with you. Ryan Spann has had some, I guess he's faced adversity in fights that we definitely didn't think he would face adversity in. And the Nogueira fight was the first one where I was like, okay, there's something more to this. Because he gets clipped by one clean shot, and it kind of, he stumbles back, and then he immediately knocks out Little Nog. Very, very sad times if you were a Pride fan. But you notice, okay, he's not at that top level of striking yet, but he has good power. Then against Sam Alvey, you could tell, okay, he can strike on the outside, he can throw single shots, he can wrestle, but then the gas tank's not really there. Just, there's always a question mark surrounding a win of Ryan Spann's, and until he is able to get one of those top-level wins against a guy like Anthony Smith, I'm always going to have those question marks for Spann. At least with Anthony Smith, he's been in the octagon so many times with so many top-level fighters that you kind of know what Anthony Smith's going to look like against a wrestler. You know what Anthony Smith's going to look like against another striker. Like, he can out-volume strike guys who are power strikers. If you're a wrestler, he has good jiu-jitsu off of his back. Like, he has a counter to whatever. He has a reaction to whatever action you bring to the fight. I just don't think Ryan Spann has that plan B or plan C. I think if Ryan Spann goes out there for the first round and is really dedicated to his wrestling, then he might look great. He might be able to hold Anthony Smith down for 3, maybe 4 minutes, let's say, and at the end of that round, we're looking at each other like, wow, Ryan Spann is the real deal. I don't think that kind of a game plan is sustainable for Ryan Spann, though, and I do feel like there's a large enough sample size to show that once he does have success, once he does start burning himself out, going for a lot of takedowns, really committing himself to the strikes, that's when he does start to fall off. And Anthony Smith is one of the classic fighters who the second you give him an inch, he takes a mile. And if he does notice that you start to slow down a little bit, that's when Anthony Smith starts to uptick his own volume. And that's when you notice, oh, the T kick to the body's hurting a little bit more. And all that volume's starting to accumulate a little bit more. Anthony Smith was in a weird position in the Jimmy Crute fight, and you might disagree with this, but he was beating the brakes off Jimmy Crute. Like, he was jabbing his face in, he was defending the takedowns. I thought Anthony Smith looked really good in that fight for the amount of time that we were able to see him compete, because going into that, I thought Jim Crute was going to take him down and have his way with Anthony Smith on the ground, but Smith showed, A, an ability to defend the takedowns, and B, he showed that he was able to damage his opponent on the feet for all those in-between moments, which, yes, we always knew that was something he was able to do, but after the damage he took against Glover, after the damage he took against Rakic, you were still wondering if that part of Anthony Smith was still there, but I do feel like in his last 2 fights, he's shown the killer instinct again.
Smith in the UFC, a negative 1.36 strike differential. For Ryan Spann, it's a positive 0.1. That's huge. The accuracy, the stats, a little bit more in favor of Spann in terms of damage taken, a little bit more in favor of Smith in terms of damage given. And if you look at it from the grappling perspective, Spann a little bit more offensive with his takedowns, but also Anthony Smith's takedown defense is 47%. That's bad. I know he's confident in his jiu-jitsu, but that's bad. Rakic was able to expose it. Teixeira was able to expose it.
The problem I have with Anthony Smith's jiu-jitsu, just to piggyback off that point, is he doesn't have a jiu-jitsu game like Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold's jiu-jitsu is so good, and he's so good at sweeping opponents on top, that he could have 10% takedown defense. I would not care. Anthony Smith has shown the susceptibility to getting held down in the bottom position, and that always does worry me against these bigger light heavyweights like Ryan Spann.
So you come into a fight like this where Ryan Spann has an edge in the grappling. He has 25 pro fights. For Anthony Smith, he's got 35 pro wins, so there's an extra 10 there, and then 16 losses. So it's crazy, the experience edge for Smith, a guy that was fighting known and recognizable names outside of the cage before stepping in to the promotion. I've talked about the main event status. Again, he had that weird 3-rounder against Devin Clark. It was what it was. He gets the win in the first round, and the naysayers can neigh because it was done that quick. Good. And then his last time out, he has that fight against Jim Crute on the UFC 261 card, where I wish we get to see more. I really do. But ultimately, Smith picks up a really big win. When I look at the odds for this one, Smith open a minus 160 favorite. He's a minus 173 at best fight odds. For Ryan Spann, open a plus 140. He's a plus 143 or thereabouts. We have a look at the Tapology votes. 1,149 total votes, 78% picking Smith, 48% by submission, 25% by knockout. For the 22% that have Spann, 70% have him to win by knockout. This is the big litmus test fight for Ryan Spann. Has he come such a long way from that Sam Alvey fight that took place 1 year and 3 months ago? Has the cardio gotten that much better? Or was it an anomaly? Can he get that big marquee one over Smith like Rakic was able to do? We'll find that one out this weekend. So overall, what's your assessment there?
The difference between Ryan Spann and Alexander Rakic is that if Rakic goes for that first takedown and doesn't get it, A, he can strike really, really well from the outside, and he's like 9 feet tall in this division. But B,
Spann.
He is. But B, he has the cardio to then chain 7 more takedowns together after the initial takedown. I don't think Ryan Spann has that kind of cardio. I think he has the initial burst to go for the takedown, and then it's, okay, I go back and I reset, now we're striking for a little bit, then I'll shoot him for another one. I think if you're going to go out there and try to wrestle a guy like Anthony Smith, you really need to chain your takedown attempts together. The last point, too. Ryan Spann's not a great finisher on the mat. He can, don't get me wrong, that's how he finished me Tsarukyan. He was in top position, raining down on him. But he's not a fighter who, once he gets that takedown, he's damaging you so much on the bottom to where I'm then worried about Anthony Smith in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round. I think Smith defensively can stay at least disciplined off of his back to where he's not eating those big shots. And I do think that at a certain point, after the 3rd round, in that 4th and 5th round, Anthony Smith's going to show why he's been in, 15 UFC main events and why this is Ryan Spann's first.
Yeah, I do really have a tricky time with this one because we saw Ryan Spann against a big, strong grappler in Tsarukyan get on top, hold him on, and just hammer away. So Spann could definitely do that against Smith. Smith is good with his back up against the cage, but if you drop levels quickly, you take him down, you get on top, and you start to hammer away, you can beat Anthony Smith. It's been done before. Ryan Spann's takedowns are good, but he's not that quick every time, and that's why I just worry about it. I could see a world where Spann wins. To me, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to see, hey, 5.5-inch reach advantage for Spann. He's got about an inch in height. Smith's one of those guys that's kind of tall and lanky for this division.
And he uses his reach extremely well. That's the thing about Anthony Smith. His reach might only be 76. I say might. That's a really good reach. But he uses his reach very effectively. Even go back and look at the Crute fight. The way that he is damaging Crute, the majority of it, to go along with the leg kick, of course, is his jab. He's keeping Crute so far away from him that Crute's never really able to go for a takedown attempt because the distance is so great between the two, and that's why I think Smith should be able to win.
Yeah, I've got Anthony Smith in this fight as well. I just think the tools are there. Could Spann get the win? 100%. But yeah, this is pot and popcorn for me. I'm going to enjoy it for what it's worth. Both of us going with Lionheart Smith to get the win, but let us know down below in the comment section who you have for this one and the other 14 fights that line this card. We will, of course, have question mark kicks 2 hours before the prelims. Things have been popping off. The internet connection has been there, and it's been a great time interacting with everybody. You can check us out at FightNightPicks.com for the full card betting guides, the recaps, and the future matchmaking with Ian Wind, Joshua Hart with those betting guides as well. There's interviews. There's all sorts of great stuff on the channel. Early stoppage with myself and John Franklin.
Is the Fight Night Picks parlay going to come back this weekend, Chris?
I think it's going to come back this weekend. You can find the merch at FightNightPicks.com as well at the shop. You can support us at 15-Minute Card Breaks, our second channel. All sorts of great stuff happening in the Fight Night Picks world. And if you haven't dropped us a sub and a like, we would definitely appreciate that from you. 30,000 subscribers, you get an extra show, and we will do a full Dana White's Contender Series preview and prediction type show. So get ready for that. It takes the whole Fight Night Picks fandom out there to help us out with that one, Matt. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for this card. I'm excited for what we have going on in the future. There's going to be a new studio maybe soon. Teaser. So no, we have a lot of really exciting things going on here at Fight Night Picks, and none of it could be possible without you amazing fans. And we are so close to hitting that 30,000 subscriber threshold. So with your help, we can make that a possibility.
So thanks so much to everybody. Hopefully everybody enjoys the fights out there this week. We'll be back with question mark kicks on Saturday, and if there's any changes, you can find it right here. Just keep locked in with Fight Night Picks, as we always say. Let's get into it.